The Times on Harry Kane, the Northern Echo on Ashley Phillips, and FC Cologne have reached full agreement with Mikey Moore. Here are the daily Tottenham news headlines. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel to another edition of the Daily Tottenham News Headlines, where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. My name's Leader Dorset Spur, and if you're listening on an audio platform, please hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. 1 year ago, Fabrizio Romero broke the news that Tottenham were interested in Man City winger Savinho, and a year later, Spurs are still interested. Will Spurs ever sign Savinho in the remaining 23 days of this transfer window? Christian Romero, Pedro Porro and Jed Spence are set to return to Tottenham this week to meet up with Roberto De Zerbi and their first teammates. That's according to Football London. The Times on Harry Kane, the England captain, is set to sign a new deal at Bayern Munich despite the links back to the Premier League and Tottenham Hotspur. He is focused on chasing more trophies with Bayern rather than hitting Alan Shearer's Premier League scoring record. The Northern Echo on Ashley Phillips. Middlesbrough's pursuit of Ashley Phillips has been paused over the weekend without a final agreement in place over the centre-half. Borough had agreed an initial fee of around £7 million with Tottenham for the 21-year-old defender, and were also ready to sign off on a series of potential add-ons that Spurs officials had wanted included as part of the deal. Phillips is understood to have visited Borough's Rock Life Park training ground at the end of last week in the hope of the transfer being finalised over the weekend. However, as the situation has developed, so all parties have decided to pause discussions with some elements of the proposed transfer still to be completed. The deal is not off, with Borough officials expected to hold further talks with Phillips and his representatives and the hierarchy at Spurs in the next few days. Manor Solomon to West Ham. The deal is £5 million plus £2 million in bonuses. Spurs also have a 10% sell-on clause for the winger. That's according to The Athletic. And FC Cologne have reached a full agreement with Mikey Moore. There is also now a verbal agreement with Tottenham in place. The plan remains a loan deal without an option to buy, as reported. The only missing in this final green light is Roberto De Zerbi's sign-off. The deal is on. So just some quick thoughts on these. The Savinho deal is one that is really, really funny, isn't it? I mean, it's a year since we first said that we were interested in this player, and we are still chasing the same player. And we only have another 23 days left to make this deal final before we have to wait then till January. Is it worth all the wait? Is it worth all the aggravation? It'll be absolutely amazing to understand exactly what's gone on here. Once this deal's finally done, I think it'll all come out exactly what's been going on, or certainly an element of the truth. And I can't wait for that day to find out one way or the other what's really happening here, because it's just mind-blowing that this can go on for so long. It'll be interesting as well to see Christian Romero back at the training ground with his teammates, considering that all this talk about him moving on and wanting to go and so on. So I'm just keen to see how that pans out. See what the photos and the videos and the social media stuff from Tottenham actually says. It'll be really interesting to see that, especially with this current link to Arsenal. Jesus, God forbid. Harry Kane keen to stay at Bayern Munich to chase more trophies. He's obviously looking for the Champions League and feels that he can get that there, or more chance of getting it there than certainly with Tottenham for sure. And he's not worried about Alan Shearer's record. I still think there's time for that. I don't think he's that far away. I think he can still do that even if he stays there for another couple of years. I still think that he has time to come back. We've just seen a World Cup with Messi and Ronaldo in it. both 40 or close to 40. And I do think these modern footballers, provided they look after themselves, which I'm sure Harry Kane does, there is an opportunity for him to see that through. And Mikey Moore to FC Cologne, I think great move for him. I really think it's great. Good to see that it's just a loan deal, no option to buy, any of that sort of stuff. Just need Roberto De Zerbi to give it the thumbs up. And I think the only thing that we are waiting on for this deal is the fact that we are still looking for players for the left-hand side, going back to the Savinho deal. So I think he will end up there. I think we will get this deal over the line, and things can kind of unlock. But it's just one of those, isn't it, where you get closer and closer to the end of the window, and all that tends to happen is everything gets clogged up, and you need that one deal to go through to unlock the domino for everything else to happen. So anyway, thanks for watching and for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. I'm leader Dorset Spur. If you'd like to pop over and say hi on my channel, I'd love to have you. No worries if not. I'll see you on the next one. And as always, up the Spurs.